We discuss about direct method, we discuss about indirect method, we solve the numerical, and we just illustrated one complete numerical. Now, this lecture, we are going to further progress about economic value statement. Before that, we are going to discuss about the two turnaround cases because these cases are crucial to understand the financial restructuring. So, first case I'm taking about IBM, and second case study we are going to deal about Tata Motors passenger vehicle. Before further discussions, let me ask you one simple question. When you go to any organization, what are the values you're looking for any organization? Just put answer me in chat box if you can. What are the values you're looking when you're going for any organization? Whether it's a salary, it's a infra, or product, profit, or anything. What is the most important? People, price, product, promotion. What is the most important?
Price, people,
Anyone? You
price
can go
first.
with seven piece. I don't want to seven piece. I want just only one. What is the most important?
Price first, then other things.
So you're going in any company, you'll see the price first. Am I right?
Yeah,
Okay. Any other answer? Now, I just went, suppose in Tata Motors, or I just went in Satyam Computers, I just went in Infosys. The day one, I'm not going to see the price. The day one, I'm going to see the ambience. The day two, three, four, I'm going to talk about the culture they're working about. How fancy, how good or bad thing. Day seven, eight, nine, 10, I'm just going to discuss about how the actually company is working about. So day one, it's everything is good because we are not used for this system. We are not convenient, we are not understood, and most importantly, we feel everything is great. So day one, we are not thinking about it. Gradually, when you find the problems, we start thinking about what can we do because the problems has solutions, solutions has expectations, and expectations has something more that they deserve that it should be in my profitable way. And hence, when you talk about turnaround cases, it is just an expectation. It is all about how I think the things are working and how the things can be more positive if I'm taking it in my cognizance. So, to finish your first chapter, we have to finish two units. One is the case studies in turnaround, and second is EBA statement. Earlier, I considered Apple as a case study, but Apple is already known to all. So instead of wasting time on Apple, I'll go with the two other cases. One is a global level, that is IBM, and second is Tata Motors. Let's start with IBM. The giant has founded in 1911 by as a CTR, that is calculated tabulation record. So initially, it is just an calculator-based company where the calculators were made. This company was creating the tools for engineering and non-engineering products which are helpful for tabulations, which are helpful for understanding the different data and so forth and so on. So major importance was given regarding start a basic company, which is just working on different electronic or that time it was a mechanical tools which will help for calculations. Most important, their culture was believing honor and loyalty. Now, what is the honor and loyalty? Honor means give the value to the each position, give the justice, give the benefit, and simply give them something called a loyalty. If I'm loyal to the organization for more than certain decades, then prestige, status, and other things should carry subsequently for the same organization. It should not happen that after 10 years, after 20 years, after 30 years, and so forth, I'm just plainly observing the things are going in a random manner as like I'm a fresher. So when you talk about honor and loyalty, that was a reputed study what they have followed. It was initially called CTR. In 1924, it was named as IBM. Now, what is the long form of IBM? Anybody knows what IBM stands for? So it is International Business Machines. Initially, the IBM was just a module where they are just recording the business calculations. And now the importance is given to the integrated business machines. So they expanded their horizon. Now, the Thomson Watson and successor has continued the company in 1954 as a global computer company. So from automated calculations, they are shifted towards the information storage system and they are work as 1960 as antitrust target and in 1980s a good business problem solution provider. So world level, they are recognized as one of the renowned and esteemed player who is working, who is acting for providing solution regarding the calculations and integrated machines. So in the initial phase, it was a great success, a great story to begin. In 1990, so there is around 69 billion net revenue and it becomes second highest profitable enterprise. In 1991 to 1993, there were two CEOs and these CEOs joined and take over. So they are relieved in 2 years. So 2 years they got two CEOs and the gesture has take over as turn-on CEO in 1993. The major problems about IBM are evolution of machine and product portfolio. So we'll discuss in detail further course. In 1994, they had turnaround and returned to industry as leader from 1995 to 1999. So this was just an history of computers. I want you to just go through. Please read the history. So we started 1981 for the launch of PC, where in 1980s we start about more networking and distribution of computer for the personal from mainframe to personal. In 1990s mid we started with the programming and coding. So instead of just calculation part, we started programming. In 1991-92 there was a recession, and the reason was the use of technology and faster decomposition of old models. The second reason of the recession was happened due to change in approach, because earlier desktop was very higher sale, now shifted to the laptops. Now laptop and laptop, these are two names happens. The two names is, earlier the correct name of laptop is laptop, the computer which you can keep on a leap, that is uh, while working you are keeping on leap and using it. So it was laptop, but abbreviated later as laptop. In 1991, the IBM has suffered a heavy loss because there was a drop in mainframe. In earlier computing, the one mother computer and the accessories are followed with the mother computer. So it was mainframes. The IBM has ignored the client need and modernization about speed and data accuracy. The pricing was premium, but the services was not matching to the premium price. So they suffered a great loss in 1991. They were having a variety of 5,000 kinds of hardware products and 20,000 kinds of software products. So they had a large variety and having around 128 chief information officers. Each officer was delegated with a team of 38 to 40 data processors and so on. So it has become a giant company processing the giant requirements and managing the giant portfolio. But due to the first thing, price, they are in danger. They are failed to understand the sentiments of customers. They fail to understand and report the what customer actually derives, what customer actually wants. So they were in trouble. The data processing cost, what they were offering as a solution, because they are mainly in calculation part, was not so effective. The cost and the returns were not competitive when they talk about market. Initial advantage of being the innovator was lapsed because they started their journey from 1911, and now after a decade of 80 years they face a steep competition. Sorry, they face a steep competition for emerging marketplace. So they face the recession in 1991. Now, whenever any company faces recession, they always think the crowd they are having or the number of employees they are having is the first line of control. So IBM has followed the same. They first cut the allowances, they increase the working hours, and secondly, they start laying off workers. So the main importance was giving towards reduction in stocks. So they have decided that if the products are not sold, we are making losses. Why to keep the existing stock and go on reduction in the existing stock so that the recession can overcome. Now, this is symptoms of recession. When the recession enters, the companies are very stagnant or declining profits. When the profits are declining, they start reduction in production. When the production start reduction, they start in cut down in employees work. So here the tremendous voluntary retirement schemes and layoff were observed. From 1991 till 1993, more than 40,000 job cuts were observed. So it was a great detachment of human values, or we can say workable professionals from IBM. They have simply remarked that we are not having sales, we're not having profits, our products are becoming costlier, so we are going to lay off. And that was a great havoc happen in industry. Out of the many giants, IBM was the main workforce in Silicon Valley, and this impact of layoff or cutting job was very drastic. That time, the penetration of Indian and Asian people in America was hardly 18% in IT sector. Major, major dominance was by German and local people. But this layoff has created an issue which was very seriously noted about the products and outlines. The challenge which faced by Greyston is first lack of customers intimacy. Intimacy means orientation or interest or what we can say, they're thinking to buy the IBM products. Second, they were having a high cost, large volume, and it was a long chain of processing or long chain of deliveries which make their product absolute. In 1991, HP, then Dell was not enter into mainframe computers. Dell was a supplier. So we got Asus, HP, and I'm not able to recall one more name from Japan. They were there. So these all players has advantage of techno innovations. What they used to do is they come with the many products. They come with the cheaper source. They come with the multiple range. And this range were not being addressed by IBM. In short, the product portfolio available with IBM was limited. The chain of production was large. The deliverable values were small, and operational cycle was too lengthy. So it was observed that over labor orientation in market has led to heavy burden of people over industry. It's something like I got too many technicians to repair the car, but I don't have any car in my garage. Then this technician is an absolute value for my company because anyhow I have to pay for the technicians. When I have to pay for technicians and they are ideal without responding or any productive work, simply they will result into only the cost, not in product. So large volume of people, missing of orders, and hectic competition has a bigger challenge in front of IBM. I'll wait for a few seconds. Please read this challenge. These challenges are very crucial to discuss about the turnaround. So let's go further. So in 1991 to 1993, there was two CEOs, and 1993 they appointed Gaston as their new CEO. He was not related to the technology background, and he has no experience of working and executive director. So he was a non-executive director. Now, as a non-executive director, his first role is to regulate, control, and ensure the resize and restructuring of organization. He first decided to connect with the customers and focus on the company's fundamental business issue. Instead of a large jargons, multifaceted words, or HEOPs, he first want to address the basic foundation things. What is a root cause of these troubles? Why and where the company is went wrong? Since he was a non-technical person, he was not going in that detail about the productivity. He was more keen interested about understanding the how things they are went in loss. He talked to the customers and convinced them about the products. He talked to the board members. He convinced about instead of laying off the workers, instead of giving out the experience or the human capital values which are associated, they should be retained and reorganized in a different chain of lines. He done a plenty of restructuring, starting from board of directors till the end worker. From senior directors, the 23 directors were said thank you. They was being forbidden to hire and consume. He was considered as a conservative hinder reformer. He first time made an attempt in IBM to have in-depth review and report about competency. He talks about the customer orientation. He talks about the product portfolio, and he talks about sophisticated marketing policy where regardless of product, maintaining the relationship and reporting the product's life is a crucial way. He emphasizes that customers should feel delighted. We should understand the customer requirements. And based on customer requirements, we should change our product portfolio. We should reprice the products and we should rethink about the values which are delivered. So, as per this, he said Organizations are challenged and focused by the technology and competition, but the solution is given by value driven people. So, more importance is given toward a solution oriented peoples who are helping him to restructure, reorganize, and rethink about the solution, what is possible. So, let's continue. Instead of like other people, like earlier there was two companies, Hewitt and Package. The name was HP only, but they shifted and split themselves into two businesses. The one company is started as the name HP, and they have taken the other company, which is subsidiary to them. So what HP has done, HP was working as a laptop company. They were talking about the HP as a good brand. Then they shifted their portfolio into two grades. Like we see in case of Hyundai, Hyundai has two portfolios. One, the upper market portfolio, they sell it as Hyundai products. Whereas when they want to go with the mass and little bit innovations, they go with the Kia. So Kia and Hyundai, they are one and the same. Their product profiles are same. But what they are doing, they are tapping the gap between the market, what they are sustaining. Like Kia is focused on more premium vehicles and some entry-level vehicles. But where, sorry, I said Ulta. Honda is more focused on more premium vehicles and less entry vehicles, whereas Kia has more entry-level vehicles and less premium vehicles. For example, the highest range of Hyundai goes up to 78 lakhs in India, whereas they have only two products. That to be price start with 7 lakhs and price start with the 9 lakhs. In case of Kia, they got a variety from 3.86 and their highest values goes up to again 80. But the product range differentiation, the products offered, they are variety. It is the same case, but the tapping untapped market. Same way, the IBM was earlier planning to divide the market, to differentiate the market in different segmentation so that the mainframe, the laptops, and the desktop computers, they can be classified on different basis. But the gesture, he decided instead of splitting the organizations and creating the different profit centers, let's integrate and create solution that IBM can do. He thinking more process centric outlook where the deliverables are available quick, fast, and smartly so that they are not outdated. Customer is delighted, and products are available for window shopping or for reaching to the end customers in very quick, efficient, and the smartest way. So his first task was to cut down the prices because overpriced and outdated technology may result into losses. So he first decided to cut down the prices, harmonize the operational efficiency so that the low price profitability can be achieved. He reorganized the product portfolio and designed the company's global strategy in such a way that they become competitive. Avoid the absolute products, avoid the slow turning products, target about the focus market, high turning products, focus on the group or age or class where the product can be targeted and unnecessary penetration is limited. He first time has lead and asked the all line managers to take the ownership and take care of product deliverables that they are done in a quick and cost effective way. So just go through this responsibility and ownership slide. I'll wait for a few seconds. So the lowering price, giving ownership, and focusing on key area was the first strategy adopted by the Jester and actually IBM. Then let's talk about most important cost. When we say cost, cost is associated as inclusive of all pricing, which makes the final product a marketable. So, as per the cost, we need to optimize the cost based on the returns. What is my sellable values? What are the things which are available? How I can progress about the same? So all these concerns are related to cost. Now, when we say cost, we first talk about start reduction in everything. In any industry, reduction in everything is not so simple. I want to reduce the cost. I should reduce everything is not an excellent idea. When we are dealing with the cost, we have to be more sensible, more approachable because cutting down any value, cutting down any rewards will again create an chaos in operational efficiency. Human being as most valuable asset or turnaround properties in any business is successful when managing their emotions, work culture, and the citations they are deprived about. So he has appointed external person as chief financial operator. He purposefully thinks if this person with a different style from IBM culture, he can evaluate the business, compare the productivity, peers, and contributors, and he will enhance the price rearrangement based on the competitiveness. Then he has lay off around 35,000 people with voluntary separation schemes, claiming that this will reduce the burden over the cash flow on and overall productivity of organization. They rearrange the product portfolios as core, non-core, and others, and they decided to shift from non-core products to the core products majorly. So they were concentrating on cash cow products, unnecessary diverting in versatile product portfolio and generating the low revenue. Better to concentrate on few and generate higher revenue. They in 1993 has revised their price from lowest point two times. They simply not cutting the expenses, but by way of revision of price, they try to mitigation of loss, or they try to create and benchmark of profitability what they can assess. By these efforts, in 1993 fourth quarter, that is last quarter of 1993, they achieved the cut down in cost. As I said, he reorganized 12 senior executives from corporate executive committee and focused on young blood and young operational strategies, which were mainly dealing with strategic decisions only. He closed around 35 top global management operational fields, which were non-productive or having less revenue compared to operationals. He appointed new external executives to revamp and reveal the company's product procedure and method. He started the first time reward and punishment system based on performance. He suggested to create an vertical matrices about profit and business. He decided to adopt the new methods and technologies and ultimately changing the product portfolio. Just go through the slide. I'll wait few seconds. So, by thinking this, we come to know that he was in complete revampation. Let me explain in simple what he had done. I have product X, I have product Y, I have product Z. This has 1 rupees output, this has 5 rupees output, this has 3 rupees output. So he decided that lowest output is cut down. He ranked the output 1, 2. He decided which has more productivity, more benefits. Based on that, he ranked the products. He appointed, instead of internal promotions, he appointed external persons to organizations so that a blind review is possible. Because when somebody is promoted from the baseline, he will have his own thinking and he will just revise the culture of organization. But if somebody from externally is indulged in organization, it will simply create an environment which is more fragile and that person can have a blind clear review about organization. This way, the reorganization becomes very cheap and cost effective. Third, he has given an authority to all the lines. For example, this is one line and this is second line. So whatever the distance about first line, its productivity, its gain, advantage, that are solely available with the first line. So instead of targeting the whole organization, he has divided into clusters and the profit centers, and he identified which are the profit making, which are the negatives, and based on same, he focused the organization culture and workings. He decided to go with rebranding, restructuring, and grow with the more personal attention towards the customers. He has targeted the giants for group sales and giving the personalized service. He hired the former colleagues departments which were left the IBM initially, and these earlier left passionate colleagues has re-emerged with his brand with the new technology and comprehensive recycling, media comments, that is free advertising. He is able to reposition and remerge as the giant for IT industry. So after this 1 year strategic moves and restructuring, his revenues were $64 billion in 1994 and net profit was $3 billion. So he has decided to stabilize these strategies for further expansion. So he want to explore, instead of mainframe, the individual customer approach where the PCs are also very important. The diode technology was a revolutionary change in IBM restructuring, where this technology was using metal oxide semiconductors and they were less heated and high energy resource. So the battery life was high, the efficiency of the mainframes and the semiconductors were increasing the profitability and horizon of success for IBM. They abandoned the traditional and very costly and time-consuming OS2 and wafer manufacturing. The OS2 is their specifically old method of production, and the Wafer manufacturing. Anybody's idea what is meaning? When we say wafer manufacturing technology, it talks about the multi steps which the manufacturing takes for highly precise and thin semiconductors. So these conductors are required a large fabrication process like philotropy, etching, doping, plantations, and then depositions. So this large penetration process and OS2 system was time consuming and resulted in the higher product lines. They are restructure and revamp the obstacles in deliverables. They want their products are early marketable and whatever the innovations they reach to the end customers before they become absolute or less meaningful. They want the distribution of software and hardware in a different line of operations where the service givens are instead of bundle service, the individualistic approach to the giants and mega demands where their most important thing. They work on collaborative type of operational handles where the issue of efficiency was resolved. Instead of working on one line, the line can be used for multiple products and same line can be used for any other type of instrument in urgency. So this way, multi-dominal production line is another footstep he has achieved in stabilizing IBM. So earlier they were having 64 billion revenue and $3 billion profit. Now, in 1 years of applying policy from 64, the revenue has gone to 74 and the profit has increased by 1.2 billion to make their profits 4.2 billion. So, identifying the hardware related product strategy, making the networking with the customers and major clients, and establish large scale of software business has lead to 12 billion revenue and 1.2 billion their net income. So growth of on average 40 to 13% is applied in this company. Looking at the future, the complexity of organization structure and all dependency on human was a key strategy they have to think about. They resolve the operational redundancy and solve as most pressing ills where the deliveries and the efficiencies were optimized. Instead of the multiple roles and responsibilities, they has revamped the operational chain in such a way that it has become smooth and one line commands. Multiple reporting channels were avoided, and integration of work and matrix culture. Now, I'm not saying our college name. When they say matrix, we got three types of organizations. One, which is growing vertically, like Mr. A, there is person B, C, then under C, there are two people, then under B, there are two people, then in this is called vertical. In horizontal structure, we got this type of organization where HR, finance, marketing, and so on. So one boss is there, then again this, and so on. But in matrix organizations, we have a system of this where this is a finance department. They have the again matrices, HR department matrices, operation department matrices, and so on. So considering this, They followed the matrices departmental integration where everybody is reporting to everybody. There is no something called as higher boss. There is no something called as a lower worker. Everybody is accessible to each information and they are working towards making the product portfolio more smart, more efficient, and more output oriented. So that was a change in IBM strategy. Anybody has any question? So what IBM has done, IBM has cut down its products. IBM has basically rethink what he can do about its products, what he can do about the prices, and in the last, he was just analyzing about the work culture he can think about. So this strategy helps IBM in a great way, and IBM has redeveloped, reanalyzed its all operational expenses and regenerate the revenue. Now, let's talk about the another case study of Tata Motors. So I'm sharing for the Tata Motors. Any doubt in IBM case study? I guess no doubt. So let me just introduce the Tata Motors case study. So the Tata Motors initially launched as Indian product. They was working in heavy commercial products. They shifted their target of heavy commercials towards the transport industry. Then they shifted the target in commercial tourist buses and they jumped in the car segment or automobile segments after certain decisions. And that was the case study we're going to talk about Tata Motors. In Tata Motor itself, we have two more case studies. One we have about Nano, and second is about their business strategy, EV. So this we'll discuss tomorrow. Today we discuss the IBM case study. Tomorrow we'll discuss the Tata Motors. For examinations, you need to have at least two case studies so that you can have upper hand when you're writing the theory about organizational restructuring, its need, importance, and strategy. Because quoting the example and writing the strategy is very crucial and essential and very effective way of doing the task. So that's all for today. Thank you all of you for joining the session and wish you a wonderful day ahead. We'll meet in the evening, 6 p.m. for session of financial reporting. Now you can log out from this meeting and join your next session. Wish you a wonderful day ahead.